So we were able to prove to the bank that, oh, we have positive cash flow. And we have purchase orders that we can show as proof that we have existing orders. So that makes us qualified to draw up on our loans.
Hi everyone, in this video, let's talk about business, entrepreneurship, and the use of debt in order for you to kickstart your business. And this is something that's very, very interesting because Filipinos, normally when we talk about debt, it's always negative quickly. But we have a very, very, very interesting guest right now in the podcast who will shed some light on how you can scale your business by borrowing and taking out loans. We have the corporate secretary of Power Fashion and the president of the very, very popular Filipino brand Bayo. We have Attorney Lagon joining us in the podcast. Attorney Lagon, how are you?
I am good, Marvin. Good afternoon, good morning, or good evening to all your followers. I'm really thank you for having me today.
No, it's an honor. No, I remember Bayo as a strong brand already when I was younger. To see a company like yours, not just grow but thrive even in this new normal is something that's interesting. Before we go into our topic about debt, I'm so curious about this. What's your secret sauce? What makes Bayo very, very good and very, very strong for years? It's not just about creating a good company, but a good company that has lasted for decades. There's something special about it, and I'm sure there's a lot of entrepreneurs watching this that want to hear about that.
Maybe there's no secret. There's no really a top secret to that. What we did was just to maintain what we had achieved so far. So we check our history and we stick to the basics, stick to which one is working, remove the ones that are not working, and continue to be resilient and adjust to the times, especially in this pandemic. Instead of sulking and just waiting for the situation to improve, we pivoted our manufacturing facility and create products that would be attuned to this pandemic. So that's how we do business. We always look for positive insights where we can adjust and thrive.
What do you think is the biggest strength of Bayo right now?
Yeah, I think on looking back, the best decision that we made was to bring back our manufacture and set up a manufacturing facility that would support the expansion of the brand. So aside from Bayo, we also operate Unica Iha and vice versa. So what we did was to integrate backward integration and put up our own manufacturing facility. At first, it was a crazy idea. Nobody wants to put up a manufacturing facility, especially when it's easier to buy products in China and bring it here. When you put up a manufacturing facility, when we were trying to put up the facility here, all our friends are telling us, you must be crazy to do that. But you see, 7 years and 8 years later, and during this pandemic, parang we are now saying, this is what we have prepared pala. This is what we have been doing for so long. The manufacturing facility prepared us for this pandemic so that in any eventuality, we can always adjust and maintain what we do best, which is to sell ready-to-wear clothes.
And I think that's one of your strengths also, that when you do something that's opposite as compared to what everyone else is doing, that's where great businesses also, I guess that makes a lot of businesses transcendent compared to everyone else out there. Now, I'm curious about this. You mentioned about bringing it here. That costs a lot of money. I want to know about your thought process into it. No, did you take out a loan? How did you get funding? Because that's a lot. I think that's one of the biggest problems, or I think that's one of the biggest things that entrepreneurs think about. They have a great idea or they have already a good business, but they want to scale it. When do you know that you should take out a loan or you should just bootstrap everything?
Yeah. Well, getting a loan is really one of the hardest decisions which a businessman can make. It's really difficult because that's when you apply for a loan, you're only actually trying to solve one half of the problem. The other half is how to pay for it. So as much as possible, honestly, I can also tell you that, I came from a very conservative family where my parents really discourages me from getting a loan when I was growing up. But, when you're in business, you need to strike when the iron is hot, so to speak. So just like my example, when we decided to open up a manufacturing facility, we need money to put up our own factory, right? So I cannot just, rely on our cash flow and deplete it and build a factory out of it, because my operational expense would really suffer because of lack of liquidity. So I really need to borrow from the bank and so that I can construct that manufacturing facility. So this is one of the reasons, or this is one of the cases where you really need to borrow from the bank, because you don't want to lose a lot of opportunities because of lack of funds. So for you to be conservative, it has to be placed in a certain level.
There's a lot of people who are hesitant. They're actually scared to take out a loan from the bank. I think primarily also because if it's a relative, pwede ko delay yung pagbayad siya kasi kamag-anak ko naman. And then pag sa bank, there's a stigma that what if I don't get to pay my amortization? What's your encouragement to people who are scared about taking out loans to be able to fund and increase their business?
Okay, maybe before I answer that question, I have to qualify. When you first think of getting a loan, you have to consider first, will I be able to pay for this? Because if you're going to get a loan and just splurge it on, say, going on vacation, buying clothes, etc., then I would advise you, don't borrow money. But if you are faced with a good opportunity, an opportunity that would bring you a positive net cash flow, then go for it. Because business in business, there's it's not a sure thing. It's always a gamble. So when you borrow, you have to check first. You have to have a good financial planning, because the appetite for credit increases as your business grows also. It's good that you have a good standing with the bank, so that in case later on you need more capital, then you're now ready to present all the requirements that you need to submit.
What should be people's line of thinking, or at least how should they analyze which bank they should get a loan from? What are the things that they can actually do also to make their success rate better in terms of also getting approved? And then how did the loan actually also help you in this pandemic to bring your business forward?
When you apply for a loan with a bank, they usually gauge you based on a certain standard. So they call it the 3 C's of a loan. So the most important thing there, the most important letter C there is your capacity. You see, banks takes profit from loans. So they need you to repay that. So they always would look at your capacity, because they wanted to see if you're churning in profits. Okay? They also would like to check your bank accounts for the last 6 months, to see if there's movement in the accounts, to see if there's liquidity. The second C it pertains to character. So the bank would always see what's your pattern of paying your bills. For example, if you're a first-time borrower, they would check, okay, can you give us the latest statement of your Meralco, for example, or your telephone bill? Because they would know if your bills are updated. It's the character that they're trying to check. And the last C, which is, I think, the least important, is the collateral that you would submit to secure your loan. Because the reason why I'm saying it's the least important, because even if your collateral is if the value of your collateral is way above the amount of loan that you're applying, the bank will always reject your loan if the capacity and the character is not, if you have not passed that character and capacity requirement. Of course, it's also important that you have to choose the bank that you are transacting with. Is it a stable bank? Is this bank be a good partner that they will always be here whether my business is good or bad? Will they help me when business is bad? Will they also help me in my expansion? So it is very important that you deal with a bank that has that the character is has already been tested.
Was there a point also in the past 15 months where you took out a loan also, and has it also panned out that it benefited you as well?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I'm one of those, maybe I'm one of the lucky few who were able to draw loans during the first stage of the pandemic. You see why? Because I passed the first requirement, which is the capacity to pay. You see, our industry, the fashion industry was the one of the worst impacted by this pandemic. No, but right after the pandemic, clothes became non-essential. Nobody wants to go to the malls to buy clothes because they're all busy looking after one another, making both ends meet, because suddenly there are no more salaries, no work. But you see, we were able to show the bank that during this pandemic, you need also clothing. Maybe not the fashion clothing, but the personal protective clothing. What we did was we pivoted. We made PPEs. We supplied face masks because those are the things that are needed the most during the pandemic. So we were able to prove to the bank that, we have positive cash flow, and we have purchase orders that we can show as proof that we have existing orders. So that makes us qualified to draw up on our loans.
Was there a point where you also got fearful, or was it also scary that dapat di ako nag-expand pero I know it's right eh. Did that ever cross your mind also that instead of trying to keep cash, you're actually borrowing more also?
Oh no, when you go into business, everything else is a gamble. So if you have that, if you really is into a business, there are no regrets. We always believe that there are no mistakes in life. There are only lessons learned. We always follow that dictum. So when we were actually before pre-pandemic, I would like to tell you that we are on an expansion binge. We have been opening a lot of stores. So as a matter of fact, that 2020 we were supposed to open, I think, 20 stores during that year. And we are sure that once the situation returns to normal, we will be there again, and we will follow and we will implement all the things that we have set aside and continue, because we have preserved our resources, that once the situation becomes normal, then we will start opening branches again. So one example is that we even renovated our store in Trinoma during the pandemic, because I feel that that's the best time to renovate, because there was no rent. So you don't lose any rent when you close it down for a month and a half. So I said, okay, let's renovate. So we are actually opening one store at a time for us to preserve our cash, and at the same time not losing out on the opportunities.
And I like what you said, no? And I really believe that to everyone watching this, that in the midst of this crisis, there's so much opportunity around it, and it's our duty to figure out what opportunity works for us. And I like what you're doing, that you're also not just trying to be defensive, but you're also going out into the offense. What kind of loan did you take, and was it actually easy to get the loan? Because I think a lot of people are thinking na, we're in a pandemic and GDP isn't so good, so baka mahirap ma-approve also ngayon. What was the process like doing that in the midst of this pandemic?
I got a revolving promissory note line from BPI. As I have said a while ago, because I have set aside certain funds for an 18-month furlough, I was able to draw from that and use it as my initial as our initial investment to buy new fabrics for PPEs and for face masks. So we were able to turn it around, and that's one good thing about what we did. We already set aside something, so we can. The purpose for that is to it's really to face any adversity in the business. In my long years of business, I have already seen the ups and downs of business. So I always tell my wife, who co-manages all of this with me, is that this is what we have prepared for so long. This is what we have prepared. So now it's time to use some of our reserve funds in order to start again. So it was easier when we started to get some loans, and payments for PPEs started to come by. It was not difficult anymore to get loans. As a matter of fact, banks are now asking us if we need more funds.
I'm curious about this. You mentioned that you got a loan with BPI as well. In the midst of the loan as well, were there other benefits that you got from it, or is it just purely a monetary relationship with the bank?
Actually, I don't know if BPI knows this, but I've been a BPI customer for almost 30 years.
Whoa.
Yeah, my account has been with them for 30 years. And I've seen how BPI had improved, especially in the last 5 years with their digital landscape. I'm happy about is that they are not only after the loans. Once I got the loan, somebody was assigned to me as my account officer. And all the things that I needed, they're just a call away. So it means the service continues. And I maintain several corporations because of the business that I maintain. And the BizLink that they developed really helps me a lot, because now I have only one access, and I can see the balances of all my companies without having to go in and out, log in, log off, and then check the balances. Now I can check all the balances, and then I can transfer from one account to another if there's a need for me to do that. The improvement in the digital landscape help us a lot, especially during this pandemic, when most businessmen like me have to rely on digital banking to service the needs of our employees and also our suppliers. So it's more easy now to use the digital platform of BPI.
You said you transitioned, you built a business towards PPEs, and how is it? How did that result into? Did it cost 10x in your business, 5x, 3x? What happened?
During pandemics kasi, we cannot really profit a lot because what you are trying to sell is a commodity that is being used by victims of this pandemic. So as much as possible, we cut on profits. We are satisfied with a small profit, and what we are just trying to do is just to survive. Our conscience will not allow us to profit on the misery of other people. So what we did was to cut our profits and then try to sell it low, so that people who cannot afford it, like the PPEs, can now buy it from us. So I cannot say that we grew by leaps and bounds because of our pivot to PPE, but what I can say is that the PPE production kept us alive and made us survive this pandemic so far, insofar as it is today.
People are always talking about that this is one of the worst pandemics ever, but they're not also talking about that after this there will be a recovery. Where do you see Bayo after this is all said and done? How will you expand? How will you grow? Will you actually borrow even some more over the next few months or years post-pandemic?
We cannot really project on the borrowings because we only borrow as much as we need it. It just so happened, we are just lucky that the pandemic started in March of last year. In our cycle, we usually stock up a lot before the Chinese New Year, because most of our fabrics are still sourced abroad. So it just so happened that the pandemic happened March when all of our inventory are here already. So what we did was to schedule the deliveries and push back whatever we can what we can do based on the sales of the stores. So right now, if the situation will become stable or normal tomorrow, we still have a lot of stocks that we can deliver to meet the demand. So and during that pandemic, we have that opportunity to develop fabrics which are now sourced in the Philippines. So we were able to realize that pwede naman pala that we can, we can support the weavers, the artisan weavers to produce fabrics that we can use here in the Philippines. So since we have a lot of time during the pandemic, we organized these weavers and help them in their craft by giving them new looms, giving them yarns. So they are now producing fabrics that we would like to sell in the next few months. So borrowing money is there. The opportunity, we still have credit lines that we have not used. It's there, but we will only use that if there is an opportunity. And again, according to my rule of thumb, if we have that projected cash flow to pay for it.
I like what you said, that when you borrow, it's something that's, there's a risk attached to it, but it's something that's calculated. And I like what you're doing, that it's based on your projected cash flows, that what could actually come in, so that you have the ability also to pay the loan. Before we put this to close, I just want to go on the pessimistic note also. How about people that they try to apply for a loan and then they don't get approved? What should they do? What should be their course of action? And then second is, how can they strengthen also their chances that if they didn't get the approval that they wanted, what could they do next?
Maybe for the first-time borrowers, if your loan gets rejected, okay, don't give up. There's always a next time. It means that your capacity to pay is not enough for the bank to consider. So what you have to do is try to think of a way of how to improve your cash flow, strengthen your financials, and show a net profit. Banks would always like to lend money to people who are, who has a positive cash flow. For all those for borrowers who has a credit line but was rejected by the bank, maybe you have to consider also that the bank is actually helping you, because once they keep on lending you money, then you will be stuck in a quagmire of debt. So maybe you have to rethink on how to liquidate first. Maybe sell some properties if you have. Maybe try to improve your business, sell your inventory first. Improve on your cash flow. Improve on your liquidity, because you might thank the bank later on that they did not really give you that loan, because they know for a fact that when they will give you that loan, it will bring trouble to you instead of helping you. You have to remember that if there is only a chance for a bank to lend you money, and they're sure that you can pay it back, they will never reject your account.
Why should Filipinos not be afraid to take out loans in 2021, provided that they've already done their numbers, they've already studied the business, that they know that taking out and getting fresh capital will actually help them?
You should not be afraid to get a loan from the bank if you're almost sure. I am not saying 100% sure. I will say even 40 to 50% sure that this business that you're trying to start will make money. When you fail to borrow money because you're afraid, then that opportunity will not be there anymore. If you'll just wait for your positive cash flow. On the other hand, if you have a carefully planned loan, you can use it as a tool to achieve the goals that you have set for yourselves. It has the aspirations that you want to reach. Avoiding loans would really mean lost opportunity in most cases. So, but if you have savings in hand and it's not enough to finance a project, then you lose that chance. Sometimes the chance comes only once, and as the adage will say, lost opportunity. Once you lose that opportunity, it's lost forever. So not all people are born entrepreneurs, di ba? So those entrepreneurs that have been successful, if you read their history, they're the ones who were brave, who were trying to meet adversity, who are not afraid to invest during pandemics like this. So I can name a lot of taipans who have been doing that. So they have succeeded in all adversities because they did not lose sight of the fact that any bad events that is happening right now, tomorrow will be another day, and you should be ready to face the good weather when the sun shines tomorrow.
Any final words for Filipinos right now that want to start their own business? Anything inspiring that you want to impart to them before we end this?
Yeah, maybe there's only one thing that maybe a few things that I would like to recommend to them. You know, when you go into business, you have to go into a business that you have fun doing it. Because as they said, if you love what you're doing, you have not worked a minute of your life. So you have to focus and you have to really save. Business is not about spending; it's about preparing for the worst time. So when you are successful in business at the start, don't splurge, don't overspend. You still maintain that same composure, the same lifestyle, and try to concentrate on the business. In our case, we don't really get dividends from our company. All of the profits that we have are all rolled over to the company. We don't even have salaries. We have our perks, of course, because we charge our expenses, but we still maintain the same lifestyle that we share the same lifestyle since the time we started the business. We're still the same. We don't really splurge. So that's how you do business. Maintain you should always limit the expenses and try to think of a way how to innovate, how to improve, how to grow your business, because that's the only way to be successful. And bank loans will follow.
I just want to share things that I got from this. Number one, focus on your business, because when your business is something that's healthy, profits will come. It will be very easy also for you to get funding. Second is not be scared to take out a loan, especially from banks, because banks are your partners also to make you grow. And it's above, like what you said, it's above and beyond the monetary benefits, that they can also help you build a very, very harmonious relationship as you continue to scale your business as well. And I think from all of this, that in spite of us being in a pandemic, there's still so much opportunity around, and having access to funding and having companies, banks to support you in this time is a very, very great asset to allow you to bring your business forward. So for those who want to take out a loan and also expand your business, and you like what we talked about here, check out this QR code right here that's flashing in your screen for you to be able to link up and explore the opportunity for you to be able to build your business, scale up, and also borrow money in the process. I'm sure that a lot of people watching this, they got a lot of insights from that, but not just that, it's the years of experience that I believe you're not just talking, but you are walking what you are talking. And I think that's what's so important for people to actually glean on from this video, that get it from people who had the experience already on how they did it with their business, and then learn, study, then also execute. Because at the end of the day, I'll say this also to close, no matter how much they watch this video, okay, loans are good, it's okay to borrow, but if they don't actually execute, na-entertain lang sila. And the whole goal of this channel is not to entertain people. We want people that you learn from this, but you also execute. So if you've been tinkering around, you've been trying to study, is this loan good for me? Study, do your own due diligence, but at the end of it all, execute. Ideas are amazing, but execution done at the right time is even better. So
I agree 100%.
So thank you so much, Attorney Leo, for your insights, and to everyone who watched this. I hope that this was something that's insightful for all of you, and I hope this video helps you trade well, trade strong, trade smart. See you all again soon, and God bless you.
Thank you again for having me, and I hope that that you have learned from me.